Happy Halloween, everyone! I'm going out as a basic white girl in a White Claw outfit. But that doesn't matter, let's focus on the video. There's something about the Ahsoka show that has me really concerned, and it has to do with the Force and something else I'll get into later. Now, I'm very excited for the show. The recent sorta announcement that Anakin will be in the show also has me fairly excited. Anakin's presence in the show makes total sense for me, but there is only one of two ways that he can appear in the show. He is either going to appear in the show through flashbacks, or will appear as a Force ghost to Ahsoka. The former doesn't really make sense to me. Rosario Dawson is currently 42 years old, and I don't see how she can play a 17-year-old Ahsoka unless they do some serious de-aging. So the other option that exists is that Anakin appears as a Force ghost. This makes the most amount of sense to me, and while it makes the most amount of sense, it also has me the most concerned. When it comes to the lore of the Force, I always think less is more. The Force doesn't need to be explained too much with junk like the midichlorians. People tend to forget that Star Wars is a fantasy series, not an encyclopedia. Now, if you think I'm protective about the Force, then I am way protective about Force ghosts. If Anakin does appear as a Force ghost, then there's the potential that Force ghosts could be ruined. And I'm not talking about the way the sequels supposedly ruin Force ghosts. I'm sorry, but a Force ghost using lightning or lifting up an X-Wing doesn't ruin the concept of Force ghosts.
But Goldman, if a Force ghost can use lightning or lift up an X-Wing or catch a lightsaber, then why don't they fight the Sith?
People who ask this question have such a fundamental misunderstanding of the Force, it's scary. Force ghosts exist for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to aid someone in a time of need. Every time we see a Force ghost, they are either helping someone out or standing in the distance smiling.
So why don't Force ghosts fight then? That counts as helping people
When
out.
someone has become a Force ghost, that means they are in a state of eternal peace. If they are out there fighting other people's battles, then by definition, they are not in eternal peace. So it doesn't matter if a Force ghost can interact with the physical world. Using that power for violence fundamentally contradicts the reason why they are Force ghosts in the first place. So why am I concerned? Because if Anakin is going to be a Force ghost, which he most likely will be, then they cannot have him doing too much. They cannot have him help fight in any way, and they cannot have him interact with anyone besides Ahsoka. Now, I'd like to believe that Filoni and Favreau aren't going to do some stupid shit, but they do have a history of having excessive fan service. So it's not impossible to me that they do something really fan servicey with Force ghosts. Ideally, Anakin should have only one scene in the show, and that scene should be when Ahsoka is struggling with whatever and Anakin comes to advise her. Although it is kind of weird to think about the fact that Rosario Dawson is older than Hayden Christensen, but I don't think that will be a problem. So what's the other thing that could be ruined? Now, ruined isn't really the right word for this. I would say it's more of a huge missed opportunity. What I'm talking about is how Ahsoka will find out Anakin returned to the light side of the Force. Ahsoka, during the events of The Mandalorian, still has the belief that Anakin never came back to the light side. Now, it's not even clear if Ahsoka knows Anakin is dead, but if I had to bet, I think she does know. If Anakin appears as a Force ghost, I imagine that is going to be when Ahsoka finds out Anakin came back to the light side. This is 100% subjective, but I think it would be more impactful if Luke is the one to tell Ahsoka what really happened with Vader, not Anakin himself. I don't know why, but when I picture the scene in my head where Anakin tells Ahsoka that he came back to the light side, it just seems weird to me. Say she doesn't know Anakin redeemed himself. She's sad about something and then Anakin shows up. She may be shocked or angry, but she'll be asking all these questions to Anakin, and Anakin would just be like, oh yeah, I turned back to the light side. To me, it would take away from the scene because the scene should be about Anakin advising Ahsoka, not Ahsoka asking Anakin a bunch of questions about his redemption, especially questions that the audience already knows the answer to. If Luke is the one to tell her, then that could be a great bonding moment for the two of them. And when she inevitably talks to Force Ghost Anakin, the scene can focus on some wisdom that Anakin may have, not Anakin's redemption. Although, now that I think about it, I can't really picture Anakin being someone who's wise and calm, just because of the way we've seen him throughout the prequels. I'm sure it will work out great, I just can't picture it right now. Sorry for another short video, I have a lot of Halloween plans, so I had to make this one quick. See you guys!